vaccination clinic. The vaccine bringing new hope as local hospitals struggle with hospitalizations. A reminder from doctors tonight as we get closer to the holidays.
Lots to get to tonight, but first, some big developments in local investigations in the last 24 hours.
This morning, we learned two 18-year-olds are now behind bars after the barbershop shooting in Augusta where two people died. Marquise Harris and Kazari Middleton face murder, attempted armed robbery, and weapons charges. This was the scene that day at the Johnson's Beauty and Barber Salon. Miguel Freeman and Wyman Scott were killed the Monday before Thanksgiving. Deputies are still looking for a third suspect.
5 days later in Aiken County, Craig Yeomans was killed, 17 others injured in a shooting at the 7th Lounge nightclub. It happened the Saturday after Thanksgiving. But yesterday, we told you this man, Dustin Williamson, was charged in that shooting. He was arrested in November in Barnwell County for the murder of 77-year-old grandmother Henrietta Creech, who was killed the same night as the club shooting. We've got much more to get to news-wise, but first, taking a look outside over Whiskey Road, it is going to be a very cold night, Riley.
This is our first look inside the Charlie Norwood VA's vaccination clinic. It opened Tuesday. Staff at the VA volunteered to run this clinic. Doctors say they've vaccinated 300 people here so far, nearly 100 people being vaccinated each day. Right now, they're still just vaccinating staff and high-risk veterans. Those vaccine distributions can't start soon enough. Record-breaking days for both Georgia and South Carolina today. 6,100 new cases in Georgia. With that, Georgia has now eclipsed 500,000 cases since the beginning of the pandemic. In South Carolina, 3,600 new cases. That's 500 more cases than the previous record set last week.
Our hospitals are seeing an upward trend, too. This shows how many COVID patients each of our hospitals have right now. And we've been tracking these numbers since the beginning. And looking back just 2 weeks ago, we found University Hospital has doubled their patients that they are serving in the hospital. Doctors Hospital is close to doing the exact same thing. And this number of cases has our hospitals and their staff stretched thin right here at the holidays. Brady Trapnell live for us outside of AU Health tonight. Brady, what are they dealing with?
Laura, AU Health says they're nearing hospitalization numbers last seen during July at the peak of the pandemic here in the CSRA. And for the community, they say the risk has never been higher.
Just look across the country. Many hospitals overwhelmed. It's now no different here at home.
I worked 14 days straight at the hospital, and so, when we work like this, we're pretty much consumed by this.
Dr. Iwana Churka says it's been a record-breaking week for University Hospital. Today, they're hovering around 123 patients who are either hospitalized with COVID or under investigation for suspected COVID.
We continue to be able to offer standard of care and proper care to our patients.
They're opening a third negative air pressure COVID unit at their main hospital to help handle all these cases.
Really, the risk has never been higher. We have more cases occurring now than we have ever had.
Dr. Philip Poole at AU Health says they're creating overflow COVID treatment areas. But one big hurdle is getting patients released, either to nursing homes or post-COVID care.
At times, occupies as many as 25 to 30 beds in the hospital, while the insurance companies are waiting or delaying approving for that patient to go.
That is, healthcare officials say many in the community, including some churches, are giving up on precautions or protecting one another.
It's kind of disheartening when you see so much death and so much illness. We will never give up on people, no matter what happens on the outside.
And Dr. Cool says they're looking into creating more opportunities to create additional space to be able to handle this surge, as they only expect it to get worse after Christmas.
We can't thank our frontline workers enough for what they've been doing all these months, what they continue to do. They're behind you, Brady. Thanks for the update.
Get ready for this next one. 2 deputies in Jefferson County make a split-second decision and save a family from a fire.
Come on. We gonna catch you, baby. We got you. Come on. You come on.
Body camera video shows the dramatic save. The deputies roll up on a house fire with the family still inside.
My heart is beating fast for them. Deputies had to catch a baby from a second-story window. It was really the only option. Nick Proto has their heroic story.
Drop the baby! Come on! We got the baby! Come on! Drop the baby!
Body cam footage captures the intense moments Jefferson County deputies caught a baby dropped from a second-story window. Sergeant Chris Robinson was heading home after working the night shift, and Deputy Dakota Lamb was on his way to work when they got the call of a structure fire with a baby trapped inside.
I immediately turned around and activated my emergency equipment and went to the scene. I just so happened I was right there, and I pulled up.
You can see a fire on the stove as deputies searched the first floor of the smoke-filled apartment. The family was trapped upstairs.
I actually tried to go upstairs and got maybe halfway up the stairwell, and the smoke just overwhelmed me.
Their only way out, this second-story window.
I'll catch you. Come on, Chris. Help me catch you. Help me catch you, Chris.
The 15-year-old daughter jumped first.
We gonna catch you, baby. We got you. Come on. You come on.
Then the mother, Shaliri Boyd, dropped her baby into the arms of the deputies.
Drop the baby. Come on. Drop the baby.
We don't really have guidelines or procedures when it comes to somebody trapped inside the house. At that point, it's a personal matter. Just something takes over. It ain't you no more. It ain't the person that rides the streets that you see every day. It's a different person comes out when something like that happens.
A person who had no idea of the connection he had with this family. The mother of two, a part-time caretaker for the elderly, cared for Deputy Lamb's grandmother long before she knew of the help he would one day give her.
And I don't know how I could ever repay her for thinking, for doing what she did to my grandma. I mean, she did miraculous work with her. And I reckon this is kind of God's way of helping me give back what she gave to us.
In Louisville, Nick Proto on your side.
Just getting to look behind the veil, what these men and women in uniform go through. My heart was beating so fast the whole time.
The entire time, I'm dizzy right now. All the chills, all the feels. That was amazing.
I'm
Incredible.
so glad that whole family is okay tonight.
Yeah, we are so thankful for those deputies and that family being safe. All right, kids getting just what they want for Christmas thanks to local firefighters. 21 students got to shop at the Evans Walmart today with Columbia County firefighters. They got a certain amount of money to buy toys, but also essentials like clothes. Columbia County Community Cares does this event every year. The firefighters fundraiser boot drive makes it all possible.
A mobile storage unit full of donated toys going to local kids. The Marine Corps' Toys for Tots program covering Edgefield and McCormick counties had a bunch of toys donated this year. So to help out, Units, a storage unit company, donated mobile storage units. So those Toys for Tots donations could be loaded and unloaded to the distribution sites.
You don't want kids to be without, especially Christmas time, but in general anyway. So it was really nice to see everyone come together and donate their time and donate their, donations. And it was just really, I'm glad we got to be a part of it. And hopefully we get to do it again.
And all of the hard work so many people put into this pays off tomorrow. That's when they get to hand out these toys at Michelle's Pizza on West Augusta Street in McCormick. Starts at 9:45 in the morning, and you really just can't beat those smiles.
The donations still pouring in across the region as another deputy steps up big for our community. We show you the amazing thing he does for families struggling through the holidays.
And it's going to be a frigid start tomorrow morning with most of us waking up into the mid to upper 20s. We'll take a look at some rain possible by Sunday in that full forecast.
And we want to see your Christmas lights. We're going to show you some decorations from someone on Warren Road in Augusta. I love it when it goes to the tune of the songs. This is so cool. But send us your Christmas light display, and here's how you can do that. Back to the arrests in two local murder investigations, the barbershop murder in Augusta and the nightclub shooting in Aiken County, both from back in November around Thanksgiving.
3 arrested while at least 2 others are on the run. Celeste Springer looks at those suspects and where the investigation goes from here.
I still feel a little bit uneasy.
For Claude Jones, the Harrisburg neighborhood is home, but he says it's a home with a troubling past.
There's a lot of things that need to be done in this area. But, can't nobody do it all. And mainly it's up to the people that live in this area.
2 suspects for the barbershop shooting are in custody, but he doesn't feel any better.
I still feel the same way. I still feel like it's unsafe for a lot of people.
When you take a walk around the barbershop, you can see why community members don't really feel like they can relax. The signs of the shooting are everywhere, including on this doorway where there's still evidence tape marking here. The shooting happened weeks ago, but clearly the impact is likely here to stay.
It makes everybody feel uncomfortable. It should. If it don't, you know something wrong.
We're learning one of the suspects, Kazari Middleton, was in the passenger side of a car pulled over yesterday. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says he had a .380 caliber handgun on him, one they believe is stolen. They weren't able to tell us whether the gun was related to the barbershop shooting. Meanwhile, progress in the nightclub shooting in Aiken and the death of a 77-year-old woman, police tell us they believe the cases are connected but won't say how. Right now, Dustin Williamson is suspect in both. Police tell us his vehicle was recovered in Calhoun County. The Sheriff's Office tells us the vehicle matches the description of the car seen leaving here at 7th Lounge. But despite some new suspects behind bars, it's still difficult to sleep easy.
There's probably some people out here that's capable of doing the same thing.
Celeste Springer, on your side.
We also found Williamson, the suspect in the nightclub shooting and the 77-year-old's murder, faces other charges. He pleaded guilty to armed robbery back in 2018. He also currently faces a weapons charge from April.
Toys and presents for local kids who have gone through a lot this year. These gifts were handed out at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office today for families who were victims of homicide.
And it's all put together by one homicide detective. Sydney Heiberger talks to him about why this means so much.
Richmond County had 41 homicides this year. That's 41 families whose lives were changed forever. But today, one Richmond County homicide detective is trying to make the holidays just a little brighter for those families. Holiday giving might mean a little more to families who have had so much taken.
I lost my kid's father.
And for Richmond County homicide detective Lucas Grant, he knows what it's like to lose two.
I lost my father to a homicide, and to know that you have not only your family and friend support, but the support of that person who may have worked that case, it goes a long way.
It's why he's giving back to 6 Richmond County kids who have lost a loved one to homicide this year.
I wanted to truly be an impact for families, not only through the work that we do on each investigation, but I wanted to build a bond.
Helping them navigate the holidays with one fewer seat at the table.
Doesn't mind taking them out for lunch, dinner, anything that they may need. I want them to know that they can call us.
He says he hopes the gifts give a smile.
I got a jacket.
To someone who may not have had many smiles this year.
It took me a long time to build myself up to come, because the last time was kind of difficult when I was here, so.
Going beyond a job title to make a difference in a child's life. In Augusta, Sydney Heiberger, on your side.
This is the 3rd year Lucas Grant has done this, but with more donations this year, he says he was able to help more families than he ever has before.
How exciting. Keep the positive stories coming. We'd love to see it. All right, so weather now. Here's
The 60s again next week, but by Christmas Day, we are expecting low temperatures into the low 20s.
Well, along with being our chief meteorologist, a lot of you at home know Riley's also our resident wildlife expert. And today, Riley's telling us about hunting. And Riley, it's been declining across the country lately.
It has, Laura. Unfortunately, since the 1980s, hunting participation has really been going down. But we've actually seen a recent surge in Georgia and South Carolina. It's all thanks to the R3 program.
Recruit, retain, and reactivate are the 3 pillars of the R3 program. It began in Georgia, but now caught on across the country.
And it was just amazing how this thing took off. And now it's growing and growing, and it's not just in Georgia, South Carolina, it's across the United States.
Multiple organizations are involved on a private and state level to get more young professionals between 18 to 25 hunting. Research done by R3 over the years shows eating organic is one of the biggest reasons for this age group learning how to hunt. R3 has multiple programs like Field to Fork, Academics Afield, and even an all-women program.
So we're doing all kinds of things to sort of engage the women in ways that they've not been engaged and not been included in the past.
These programs teach people how to hunt, but the main goal is conservation.
Hunting is a part of wildlife management. If folks are not hunting and fishing and taking care of the numbers, then, eventually they'll go away.
More hunting and fishing licenses sold also equals more federal funding for conservation and habitat management.
There's a lot of ways you can get involved to make sure and ensure the R3 movement, the initiative continues, and we're after that next generation of hunters, so, future generations after we leave can enjoy the outdoors.
And if you are interested in learning how to hunt or maybe even becoming a mentor to new hunters, we will include links on our website on how you can get involved.
Interesting that organic is driving a lot of people to the outdoors.
It definitely is. Everyone's looking for locally sourced food, and you cannot get more organic than hunting deer or turkey.
All right. Thanks, Riley.
Holiday basketball is going to look a lot different in our area this year. Plus, two big-name coaches want a change to this year's college football playoff. Mike is next in sports.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
I'm sure just about everyone's looking forward to the holiday break at this point. Now, typically, we'd have a few area basketball tournaments going on throughout the break, but this year has been anything but typical, as we all know, and there's been a change to the upcoming holiday basketball schedule. The Richmond County Round Ball Classic and Evans Holiday tournaments have both been canceled. This comes as Columbia County had limited athletics over the winter break, and Richmond County has done the same. Some programs in Aiken and Edgefield have also canceled games over the holiday break. Aiken High School itself will still be traveling to play in a holiday tournament in Cola. Looking to be just a little more quiet this holiday season, tonight's Glen Hills Laney game will be the last public game in our area for some time. Highlights of that at 11. We're on the eve of the ACC Championship.